Hi, I'm Travis.
And I'm Taylor.
And this is Bestie Approved.
Hello.
What's the last song you listened to?
My last song was At the Beach in Every Life by Gigi Perez. I've been listening to my Replay 25 on Apple Music, and her album was my top album of the year. And so I've been shuffling my Replay playlist, and she was the last one I listened to.
Cute.
Yeah, she's great.
Mine was the Steve Aoki remix of Happen to Me by Russell Dickerson.
Interesting.
Do you know the song that's like, don't know what happened last night, don't know what happened last week?
No.
She gonna hang on. I know you've heard this song.
You think so?
It's been all over TikTok forever.
I'm almost positive that your TikTok is very different from my TikTok.
Okay. Now we know.
I believe that I've got something crazy going on my TikTok that you may not relate to.
Probably not.
Right.
That's okay. That is okay.
I love it for you.
What's on our list this week? We had a list this week.
We sure did.
Here we go.
I think first on the list is Fruity Pebbles.
How do you feel about that?
I, first of all, was so proud to go onto my Instagram and start watching everybody's stories and just seeing that happen in real time. Mm. But I was also confused because I had just finished season 3 where everybody made up. Mm. But I've got lots of things to say. I hate to be a pro Demi person, but more power to her. I wish that my pee tasted like Fruity Pebbles. I'll tell you that.
So here's the thing about
throwing that
this.
around like a talent.
I don't care about the act. Like, that is the last thing I care about. The thing I take issue with is, did you see the story about so Whitney Levitt was on, I don't think it was the Vile Files, but it was a podcast like that where she was explaining, she said, can I tell this story? And Demi said yes. And then turned around and talked about how bad it hurt her. So gaslit Whitney into telling the story and then used it as a storyline against Whitney.
Wait.
That's the issue I have.
I need you to... I'm confused about what you just said. So Whitney went on the podcast.
So Whitney went on the podcast and explained that when they were filming season 1 of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, that this was apparently something they all knew about. And they... Whitney said, hey, can I tell this story? It'll be funny, whatever. And that's where the bag of Fruity Pebbles came from in season 1. And then Demi was like, it's so hurtful, whatever. I don't remember the exact parameters of the story, but I do know that Whitney thought it was free game, and Demi led her to believe that because Demi is a little demon monster.
Right.
That being said, I don't care about the act. I think the act, far be it for me to kink shame, I think that's totally fine. If you're 2 consenting adults, God bless, more power to you.
Yeah. I do have a problem that Jessie went as far as to be so angry that she aired all that out on Instagram, if that wasn't something that was well known. Because I'll tell you, I didn't know what Fruity Pebbles was.
No one knew what it was, yeah.
Right. So I'm usually pro Jessie, but I'm that was a little bit messy that she went and did that.
I get where you're coming from with that. Jessie can do absolutely no wrong in my eyes, though. I feel because the thing about Jessie right now is she is being attacked on a level that
surpasses understanding.
Yeah. And Demi has been at the forefront of that.
Yes.
So,
I mean, that whole season 3 was crazy to follow.
Right.
And I loved every second of it.
Yes.
And I was really surprised when near the end of the season, they all kind of made up and stuff. But obviously it was either fake or short-lived because now there's all this drama between Demi and Jessie again. And they just keep going back and forth on their stories.
I think the problem that you have there is Jessie is someone who I believe if she says she forgives someone, she's done, it's over, right? Yeah. I think Demi, however, is she is not matured emotionally whatsoever. So I think the issue she's running into is she says she forgives and then she can't get past it, because it was the same thing with Taylor. It's the same thing with Jen. It's the same thing with, I don't think she was ever fighting with Whitney, but I mean, it's the same thing with all of them, where she cannot get out of her own way, which is not great, but
for sure,
here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I, again, hate to be a pro Demi person, but I love that she's been joking about it on her story and just really riding that train. It's like, if I'm going to be made fun of for it, here's some more fuel to the fire.
I will give her that. Like,
she's having a fun time with it.
Yeah. If it's going to be something that's out there, let it be out there. It is what it is.
With that being said, I am still anti-Demi and 100%. Pro Jessie.
Yes.
Unless there's things that I don't know.
There's nothing you don't know.
Right. I know too much.
I think the problem with these girls, I was talking to someone about it was husbands watching Housewives yesterday.
Love.
I think it's not the problem with these girls. Like, I think the true fact of the matter with these girls is what you see is what you get. Like, I don't believe Taylor Frankie Paul has a Hulu subscription. I believe, like, she does not edit who she is at all whatsoever. I believe, like, what we're seeing is very real.
Yeah.
The only the only two I wouldn't say that about are Demi and Whitney, because I think we're getting everything with the rest of them.
Yeah.
Maybe Jen but like, I think Jen has gotten better. I think Jen was just going through a really hard time, but yeah, the rest of them, I think we know everything. Like,
for sure.
Yeah.
That was a really fun thing. That really spiced up my week this week.
I'm happy. I'm really happy. Have you seen how much 50 Cent hates P. Diddy?
I saw that on the notes, and I literally have no clue what you're talking about. So, I need you to unpack for me, please.
50 Cent, you know who 50 Cent is?
A rapper.
Yes, a rapper.
Don't listen to his stuff or ever have, but I know he's there.
Had a lot out recently. He was super big when I was in like middle and high school.
Right.
And I don't know what the interaction was 10 years ago, but Diddy said something to 50 Cent 10 years ago that 50 Cent responded with, "I will start collecting information about you now." Like, and for 10 years, he was gathering information, and he released a documentary on Netflix, or I think it was Netflix. I'm pretty sure it was Netflix, that about like, there's like a previously unaired, unheard confession to something. There's a lot of information about the freak offs. There's like footage that no one's ever seen before. So there's a lot in there. And 50 Cent is doing interviews. Number one, he said, "I will only do interviews with channels that are available in prison because I want Diddy to see this." Two,
that's so tea.
Watching him in these interviews is like watching a kid on Christmas, where I think the interviewer asked 50 Cent, where he was like, what do you think Diddy's gonna say when he sees this? And he just is smiling from ear to ear, and he goes, "I think he's gonna think it's the best or the best documentary he's ever seen." And like, it is so good, because like 50 Cent is someone who, I think a lot of parents when I was growing up, like, a lot of parents were like, "I don't want my kid listening to 50 Cent." And then, like, looking back on it, yeah, his music was pretty explicit. Like, it is what it is. But like, it's like now he's doing the right thing. And like, I'm like looking back on it, I'm like, I would let my kid listen to 50 Cent. Like, it's like now you're putting all your eggs in the 50 Cent basket. Yeah,
and you're like, well, now I'm going to listen to his whole discography.
Yeah. Like,
Hi, everyone. This is JJ, the co-founder of Good Pods. If you haven't heard of it yet, Good Pods is like Goodreads or Instagram, but for podcasts. It's new, it's social, it's different, and it's growing really fast. There are more than 2 million podcasts, and we know that it is impossible to figure out what to listen to. On Good Pods, you follow your friends and podcasters to see what they like. That is the #1 way to discover new shows and episodes. You can find Good Pods on the web or download the app. Happy listening.
Yeah, you mentioned when we were talking earlier about when we were doing the what's your last song, you mentioned your Apple Music replay. So what's on your 2025 replay?
Well, how do we want to get down with this? Like our top artists, our top songs?
However you want.
Now, dear listener, please listen in on the fact that I have the same artist, singular artist, ever since 2022, when I've actually followed my replay playlists and all that. I've always had Lizzie McAlpine in my top artists.
I don't know who that is.
She's perfect, beautiful, special, and amazing. She was my top song, top artist, top album in 2022, and I think in 2024. And she is my top artist of 2025.
Love.
Although I would like to compare minutes with you because I feel like I do not like minutes in place, because I feel like mine is very low compared to other people, even though I feel like I'm listening to music every day. So like, go to your top artist and tell me two things: who it is and how many minutes you listen to that artist.
Kesha for 623 minutes.
Oh, okay, fine. Because mine is obviously Lizzie McAlpine.
Okay.
And I've listened to her for 1900 minutes.
What?
I thought that was low compared to other people. I thought it was really low.
Wait, okay, so who's your number two? Is it like a significant drop in time?
Not necessarily, no. It's Leve, and she's 1600.
Okay, so mine's Diplo, and it's 330, and then Lady Gaga at 323, Kylie Minogue at 2. My Apple Music is basically calling me the F slur.
For sure.
Like Kylie Minogue at 277 minutes, Orville Peck at 273.
I love Orville Peck.
That Midnight Ride song, are you kidding me?
Incredible.
Such a good song with him and Kylie Minogue.
And his voice is just so yummy.
And Diplo, by the way. He's like, that song covers like 3 of my top 5 artists.
Yeah. Well, what about, look at your top song. How many plays do you have on your top song?
It's Midnight Ride at 83 plays.
Okay. Because mine is Savannah by Jensen McRae, and I have 64 plays of that, which I'm kind of surprised that it's that little, but whatever.
I would have thought I had more of Midnight Ride, because I listened to that song like 9,000 times, I thought.
Yeah.
Attention is on there. Hot and Sexy by Zara Larsson is on there. Kesha was my top artist 4 months in a row, though. That was really good.
I believe that. I believe that, and I also love it. Even though I don't perceive my music to be very alternative, I'm not somebody that's like, oh yeah, I listen to alternative, but my top genre is alternative. A lot of the people that I have, I guess, are considered alternative, which honestly kind of makes me feel kind of cool. Kind of makes me feel kind of cool.
You're such a cool girl. I was talking, I was doing Husbands Watching Housewives yesterday, and Scott's top genre was bedroom pop. Have you ever heard of that?
No, what is that?
It's like pop that like is something that like sounds like it could have been created in someone's bedroom. I listen, I won't take it. Yeah, if he likes it, I love it. But
yeah, that sounds like a really cool concept, and I love that that's his top genre.
Yeah,
I love that. I think that's kind of cool.
Did you do your YouTube replay from last year?
I barely watched any YouTube, so I didn't even bother. But tell me about yours.
Oh, let me pull it up here.
Oh, while you pull it up, I will say I did get a comparison between my top song last year and my top song this year. And I think that it was really adorable because my song from last year, it was called, I have to think about it for a second. So cut out all this thinking.
Okay.
I can't even think of it. So my top song last year was from Lizzie McAlpine, and it was basically a song about having such a hard time leaving a relationship that is so terrible and so toxic and so traumatic, but you know you have to do it and you don't know how to do it. And this year's song is Savannah by Jensen McRae, which is basically like you were a monster and I hate you and I have such a beautiful life now and I'm moving on and I'm having everything I want. And I think that that's such a beautiful comparison, especially considering the way my life has been the past couple of years and like leaving my previous relationship and being in this new one. And I have not just in this relationship, but being home and having all my friends and all my family. Like I truly and sincerely have everything I could ever want and need.
Aww.
And I think that that's really cool to have seen that transition and that progress through my top songs.
That's beautiful.
Isn't it?
So I went back to 2024 in my Apple Music replay before we get into my YouTube replay.
Yeah.
I listened to Beyonce for 2,172 minutes in 2024. So maybe like what I thought was like a lot is skewed. Cause I thought like 10 hours of Kesha feels like a lot, but really it doesn't feel like that much now.
Yeah, for sure.
And apparently I listened to Heated 113 times in 2024.
And I wish you listened to it more.
I probably should have.
Well, I was talking to my sister about her Apple replay yesterday and her listening to her top artist, it was Tate McRae. She's obsessed with Tate McRae.
Of course she is.
It was literally like 4 times more than my minutes of my top artist. And I'm like, do you just have headphones on 24/7 and are just listening? And she's just like, I just listen when I want. And I'm like, is it 24/7? I mean, so that's why I thought I had a very low amount of listening to my top things. I don't know.
Do you know who else listens so much as your mother to music? Because so like I pay for all of our Apple Music because we're all in the same Apple family. And Emma is also on our Apple family, but she listens to Spotify. I like don't know why, but God bless, she's allowed to. She can make whatever decision she wants.
She can do no wrong.
I just assumed that like I was really the only person that used Apple Music in our family. And like, I was just paying for it, like, because it's
for yourself.
Well, it's like, I'm pretty sure it's the same price, whether it's me or whether it's everyone, because it's a shared subscription. But, Tanya calls me because she gets a new phone and she's like, hey, I don't know my Apple account password. And like, which is problematic because like, that's whatever. That's neither here nor there. But she's like, I don't know what to do without my Apple Music. And she's like, I'm leaving for Florida. I don't know what to do. I was just like having a full blown meltdown. And I was like, I'm so glad that people are getting use out of this.
Oh, for sure. And I only use, I don't know how you feel about Spotify versus Apple, but I am pro Apple. Like Spotify confuses me.
Can I be so real with you?
Please.
Spotify to me, it feels like a college student thing versus Apple Music feels like grown up and more refined. And I know fundamentally it's exactly this. I think it's the color scheme. Like, I think that's what it is for me. Because like the apps are, I mean, they're the search functions are different and that's fine. And like the back end of like how the music artists are paid is pretty similar, but like I don't think one's better than the other. I think it's just I feel like Spotify feels like it's for high schoolers and college students. Yeah,
I feel like it's all down to preference and some people, what I get confused about when it comes to Spotify is when I want to look up a song or look up an artist, I don't know if this has to do with a free version versus a paid version, but when I look up a specific song or a specific artist, it wants to give me things similar to it immediately. And I'm like, no, I want to listen to this song by this artist.
Spotify has put a lot into the algorithm building, whereas Apple Music, I think, connects you to exactly what you want faster and builds off of what other people have listened to after that. Yes, because what I like about Apple is I'll find exactly what I'm looking for much faster, like you said. And if I want to go to like the homepage and go through some of the playlists that it gives me, I trust the algorithm of the playlists that they're creating for me. I
listen to a lot of those playlists that Apple curates for me. Mm-hmm. But Spotify dear listener, you know where I stand when it comes to Apple versus Spotify, and you can beat me in the comments about it. I don't care.
But you said you don't watch YouTube.
I do watch YouTube, but I've watched a lot less throughout the past like 5 years. And I only have I probably only subscribe to 20 different creators, and I watch them whenever I want to, and sometimes that's like during lunch at school, and otherwise it's very few and far between. So you tell me about your YouTube.
I watched 719. So first of all, I didn't know that YouTube did a recap. I think this is like a new thing for them, but I watched 719 channels this year. My number one channel was Sexy Unique Podcast. So Carrie and Laura, if you're listening, love you. I'm in the top 1% of your viewers. I watched 175 of your videos this year.
That's incredible.
Have you listened to Sexy Unique Podcast?
No.
I love them so much.
I believe it.
Like I base a lot of my personality on them. I think Laura and Carrie are probably two of the funniest people on God's green earth. Mm-hmm. And then a fun fact because they like break it up into like early 2025 you did this, mid 2025 you learned about this, late 2025 I learned about podcasting.
You don't say.
I hope I learned something, dear listener.
How do you look it up? Because
I think you just go to on YouTube, go to like your profile, and it showed up like at the very top for me, but now it's gone because I think I've looked at it.
I don't think it wants to show anything for me, which is kind of sad because I would be willing to, because I have watched some stuff, but anyways. Anyway. Well, I love that you're learning about podcasting.
Love.
Thank God you do. Or else this would be a little difficult.
Probably. Are we complaining?
Yeah.
What are you complaining about today?
I even have a new thing that's not on the list.
Tell me.
So my boyfriend and I have been doing a lot of selling on Facebook Marketplace. Mm-hmm. First problem.
Okay.
Second problem is I have a huge bone to pick with the people that want to converse with us and then just stop the conversation. And let me actually tell you a specific. So I would say this past Tuesday, I was talking to a woman. Mm-hmm. We'll call her Judy. Judy. We were talking to Judy, and Judy wants some of my beaded bracelets so bad. I have real like gemstone beaded bracelets. I have like 8 of them. Judy wants them for her granddaughter so bad, but she lives in Greenfield. So she was like, is there any way you can ship them to me? And I'm like, I'm sure it's easy to figure out, but I don't want to do shipping. Like, I just want like pick up or meet up or whatever. So I was like, well, how do you feel about maybe meeting me in Fairland or close to Fairland? Because I visit my granny and papa sometimes. And she's like, yeah, let's absolutely do that. Let's meet off of this exit at 5:00. And I'm like, perfect. I'll do that. That was for today. Today, as we are recording, I was supposed to meet Judy at 5:00. What I do is I confirm the morning of. I say, hey, just wanted to confirm and see if 5:00 still works for you today, Judy. I got my bracelets for you, baby. I send her that 9:00, no answer. I wait until about 3:00. And I'm like, hey, I really want to confirm the plans before committing to them. So please let me know when you can, if you're still interested. Yeah. And to this moment, I still don't have a response from Judy. So imagine if I had just not confirmed and I just thought in my head, well, Judy said 5:00 today. And then I went to this exit at this gas station and I waited for 10, 20, 30 minutes waiting for Judy to show up. And I think that's just like, we're all adults. Just if you're not going to meet me, tell me you changed your mind. I'm not going to be hurt about it. But what I am hurt about is if I go to meet you at a place at a location at a certain time and you don't show up, that's going to make me mad. And thankfully, I'm the kind of person that's like, well, if you're not confirming with me, I'm not going. So I didn't.
From my understanding, so I've either sold or given something away on Facebook Marketplace like one time when I was moving out of Solana. And I don't remember if I sold it or gave it away because it's been years. But that, as far as I'm concerned, was a lovely transaction. It was like this IKEA like bookshelf thing that I was like, I don't feel like moving this. Like, it's fine, whatever. And then I think I ended up just like giving it to the guy when he like tried to pay me. And I was like, please just take it. But apparently my scenario is very unique in that there were no issues and everyone was lovely and like there wasn't like something strange going on. Because from my understanding, Facebook Marketplace is like the third circle of hell.
It feels like it.
Just, yeah. I'm sorry. Like, it sounds so miserable and awful.
It's so, well, I think that what makes it so miserable and awful is nobody knows how to act. Nobody knows how to treat each other. It's the same problem with like customer service these days, where like the customers are awful, the people are awful, the people selling are awful. And I just think it's crazy because if we have to use this technology to communicate back and forth, and if you want an item from me, I would expect a response. And if it's just like a, hey, is this still available? And I say, yes, are you interested? And then you never respond to me again. That's not going to hurt my feelings. But like, if we commit to a date and a time and I put you in my calendar and I put you in my planner and I'm expecting to shift my day around making sure that I'm at a Meijer in this town at this time, the least that you can do if you're not interested and be like, hey, just wanted to let you know I'm not going to be buying this anymore.
It's so annoying.
It is. I mean, first world problems, whatever, but
it's still annoying though. It's still valid that it's annoying.
It is. And it's, yeah. So that's one thing that I have to complain about. So you give me something to complain about. I
am going to complain about the constant TikTok ads that pop up for this one this is a trend with like new apps now that are only out there to steal your data, but there is one in particular that's like, it's called like Truth Seek or Seek Truth or something like that, where it's like a girl in her car crying, and this is every single video that is advertising this app. And it's like, I looked up his name and I found everything I didn't want to know. And like, I've blocked every single one of these accounts because there are like 9,000 of them. I've blocked every single one of them. And it just keeps coming up. And like, I've gotten to the point where like, I've started reporting every one of these ads because I'm like, at some point, like, I understand that like, it's the same thing with Meta. It's the same thing with Instagram. It's the same thing with Twitter, where if you're using the free version of Twitter where you're not paying for the premium version, if you're using Instagram on any level, if you're using TikTok, it is harvesting your data. And I understand that that's part of the game. Like, I get that. And like, the ethics behind that, that's a conversation for another day. But like this Truth Seek thing, I feel like is a little more predatory because it's like preying on the insecurities that people have in relationships. And it's like, well, what am I going to find out there? And you're not going to find anything. Like, I want to start here. You will not find anything because it's all behind, I'm assuming, a paywall, just like all of these websites are, where you type in a name and it's like, I'm going to give you like the first and last name. This person might be 27 years old. This person might live like in the zip code. Do you want to know more? Pay for this. And then they get you on a subscription and you keep paying. I have to tell you, I think that's so predatory and gross, but like the back end of it is it's all harvesting your data. And I don't like, I just keep blocking them.
Yeah, I have a similar problem right now, but now my problem is with TikTok Shop because the constant ads that I'm getting, well, and I don't even know if they're ads at this point, but it's content creators advertising specific products that you can buy on TikTok Shop. And I had the displeasure of having a momentary lapse of judgment when I saw this automatic screwdriver thing where it's like a screwdriver.
The Fantic one.
I forget. I don't know what it's called.
I know exactly what you're talking about. And I bought one. I bought it on Amazon, but go ahead.
I was like, okay, I genuinely want that because with all this selling on Facebook Marketplace, Todd and I have also been like replacing things that we sell with better things. And we had to build a coffee table recently. Yeah. And my God, I could not twist anything for the life of me. It was so difficult. I don't know if it was my nails or just like the tiny little like L-shaped thing that they always give you. It's just too difficult.
It's called an Allen wrench. Go ahead.
An Allen wrench? Allen wrench. Thank you. It was so difficult. And I was like, oh, I would do anything for like an actual like drill or like
That's exactly why I bought mine. Go ahead.
Exactly. Yes. So I was like, I wonder how much that cost. I did go to the TikTok shop link. I clicked on it. I saw the price. I'm like, maybe someday. When I tell you, I had 8 videos in a row, 8 videos in a row, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of that ad with the screwdriver. And a couple of them were different, like different creators advertising it, whatever. I don't know. I don't care. I had it 8 times in a row, and I've had it every single time I've opened TikTok since then.
I get the same thing for it. It's 2 things that I constantly get it for. One, because I've purchased it on the TikTok shop, the Bradley Thorin candle, or the Thorin Bradley. You know who that is? The guy that's always chopping wood.
No, but I love the idea of that.
He's so hot. He's so beautiful. I love him. Thorin Bradley, if you're listening, love you. I bought his candle, and now all I get are like creators like advertising his candle. The other one is like this company called Real Men's Apparel, where like it's underwear, like, and the way they advertise it is very strange to me. But like, I'm glad we've moved away from this trend of like they'll get on there like, someone is definitely getting fired from this company because this deal is not supposed to be like whatever. Like, I'm so tired of hearing that. So like, I'm glad we've gotten away from that. But like, I think this speaks to a larger problem that we're seeing on TikTok of like, I think the creator fund has like dried up a little bit. So like, this is where a lot of creators are like finding revenue is because they can't get it anywhere else. I don't know. And I don't know that I care because like, get your bag, whatever. But like, it does get exhausting when you're like, it is pushed to you constantly.
Now I've only bought, I think 2 things on TikTok shop before. And that was years after it even became a thing, because I knew from the moment that TikTok shop became a thing that I was going to hate it, that I hated all of the ads from TikTok shop. And I'm telling you, if there was a way that I could pay for a premium subscription of TikTok where I never receive a TikTok shop ad again, or some way that I never even have the TikTok shop option, I would pay any dollar amount for it.
So you say that, but like the issue you run into is like it's the Netflix model issue that you're running into, where Netflix had for the longest time if they didn't have a free version, they had a version that was like dirt cheap, and then you had a premium version, and then you had like a premium plus version, like whatever that iteration is. And like, they are not making enough money on the premium models to like support like the loss in ad revenue from the lower end models. So they keep raising the price of Netflix. And like, I'm going to tell you right now, that is the first thing that will happen to TikTok is like the price will keep increasing because like the ad revenue that comes into TikTok is astonishing. Like
I believe it.
Like it's the same thing with like third party affiliates is where the views are enough to like support it. And like, because it's the same thing with like YouTube or whatever, where like I pay for the premium version of YouTube for all of us. And if like, I don't get ads because like I cannot handle the constant ads, but like, but what Google has done very well is like, they have not pushed the premium version so far higher to like compensate for the loss in ad revenue. But on the Bestie approved YouTube, where I don't realize I'm logged into the Bestie approved one, the number of ads that I see pop up on there is so exhausting because it's, I mean, it's like every 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the answer is, but like, I do know that like, and I think you put this in your complaint, like we've gotten so far into consumerism and capitalism that it's like, we can't find our way out.
I need to find a way out because I'm also in this kind of space in my life where I'm trying to prioritize quality things over like a cheap priced thing. I'm trying to make sure that I don't wear any polyester anymore. I don't want to wear polyester. It's not good. It's itchy. It's bad. It's whatever.
And it's terrible for the environment,
and it's
too.
terrible for the environment. So I'm trying to make room for things that are better material, better quality, and all these things. And that also leads into, we have so much, what is it called? Fast fashion.
Oh, Emma and I have talked about this. First of all, fast fashion is one of the worst things that ever happened to the environment. But also on the other side of that, one of the worst things that could have happened to the fashion industry in general, because it's on one hand, it does make fashion more accessible. I will give the concept that, but that's all I can give it, is because I mean, if you look at some of these garbage islands that are out floating in the middle of the ocean, a lot of it is clothes that were just never worn. It's that bad. Yeah.
It's just like what you were talking about. We've gone way too far, and how are we supposed to get out of it? There's a million ads. How am I supposed to escape it? There's so much to buy and so much influence, and obviously, I'm a victim of it. I get influenced all the time, but there's just no solution to the problem.
Well, I think there is a solution, because you've seen what's going on with, what is this girl's name? Hang on. It's Lily something. Hang on. Jaclyn Hill. Have you seen what's going on with Jaclyn Hill right now on TikTok?
I think I saw something recently. I saw one video where apparently her fans say that she's out of touch.
Yes.
Okay.
So the issue is so she gets on, and I mean, all of her content is consumerism. And if that's your thing, great. Because I'm gonna be honest, I'm probably one of the worst people about it. When it comes to shopping, and it's your mom's bad about it, our granny's bad about it, our Aunt Tina's really bad about it. This is just how we're wired. And Bailey's probably she's gotten much better at it than we have, but I think we all have, to some degree, the consumerism bug, right?
Yeah.
And that is what it is. And I personally do need to get better about that too. But what the issue with Jaclyn Hill is that's all her content is. It's look at my multi-million-dollar house in Los Angeles. Look at this handbag that is as much as someone's salary in a year, for instance. Look at this 20-person dining table that I have with custom wine bottles for everyone. And it's gotten to the point where I think she has 4 million followers on TikTok, and one of her recent videos got 30,000 views. And she says, well, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? And they're saying, I can't afford groceries right now. This is a big part of the problem, right? And instead of saying, hey, I'm hearing you, I'm listening, which, to be fair to her, I think she made a video a couple days later saying, hey, I want to listen. I'm in a better place to listen now. But in the beginning, it was, that's not the problem. I do giveaways. I talk about dupes all the time. And I'm babe, you gotta, if the call is coming from inside the house, you gotta listen. Do you know? So I think what we're getting at here, though, is you have to be mindful about this idea of consumerism, because what you're saying is absolutely true. There has to be quality over cheap quantity, but it doesn't have to be expensive, and it doesn't have to be a Louis Vuitton duffel bag. It can be a really good Under Armour. You see what I'm saying? It's it doesn't all have to be the brands. That's I think the issue.
For sure. I wish that there was something clear and transparent, worth of a solution to this kind of thing. And I think there's just so many variables to it that it just gets all muddled. And then, I mean, the whole consumerism concept is so overwhelming anyways. And so, you know what my solution is actually?
What is it?
My solution is throw my phone out into the ocean. Okay, that's step 1. Step 2 is erasing any evidence that I was ever here on this earth. That's step 2. Step 3 is build a cottage in the woods and garden for my food and my resources, and just live in the woods. Live in the woods and garden and frolic.
A very ethereal idea that I think you could pull off that I know I couldn't.
Sure.
Do you know what I do believe though?
Yes, what?
What would be fun for like 2 weeks is to like, and I like this all obviously revolves around meeting a guy that I'd want to do this with, but like living in a van for like 2 weeks or like an RV, and like we're just driving across the country, and like we like stop at like not the Grand Canyon, because like that place, like it makes me feel uncomfortable, but like like a mountain or a beach or something, and we go and like it's cool, but 2 weeks is like my max limit on that.
I agree. I think that's a lot. I think that as long as it's a generally okay RV, that is something very doable. I'm really excited for this year. Todd and I have started planning on little trips. Like we did a lot of trips this year, and I'm like, well, we need to downsize the amount of trips a little bit, but still have fun. We're going to start doing little things out west, like go to Colorado.
I think that would be so fun.
I know. I would love to do more of that out west. I've never done that. And I would also like to go, we're going to go to Oregon at some point, because we have a teacher from high school that we're still really close to, and he's specifically very close to, and we're going to go visit her and her family out there. I would love to go to Maine. I would love to do that.
Maine is east.
It is, yes.
Okay.
I am switching gears.
Okay.
Don't worry, I am switching gears. That was a rough transition. I would love to go to Maine
Do you know
at some
who else
point.
is obsessed with Maine?
Who?
Amy, my stepmom.
Really?
Yes, like she loves lighthouses, and like it's like a whole thing for her.
Oh, that's really endearing.
Yeah.
That's a sweet thing. Yeah, that would be really cool. We're going to do a bunch of other stuff too, but it's going to be a little bit less. We're going to Hawaii in a couple of weeks.
Are you excited?
So excited. I'm so excited. I just have no clue what I'm going to wear, because I've never been to Hawaii and I don't know what the weather's going to be, but it'll be really nice. I've never been, and it's going to be so sweet.
You'll have fun. Yeah.
I'm going to try to be extremely respectful about it, because I don't want to be like that stereotypical tourist that doesn't like respect the land and that it's just kind of a nuisance. I want to be the opposite of that if it's possible. I want to learn so much. I want to appreciate so much. I want to see all the beautiful things and appreciate it and disrespect absolutely nobody.
Good. I love that.
Yeah. Your holidays might be chaotic, but your bed should not be. I'm really into Cozy Earth's bamboo sheets right now. They're ridiculously soft, and they'll keep you cool all night. Oprah and Kris Jenner are huge fans, and you'll see why. You get a 100-night sleep trial and a 10-year warranty, so you really can't go wrong. Dear listener, right now you all get 41% off of anything on the website. Just go to CozyEarth.com and use the code BESTIE at checkout. That's CozyEarth.com, code BESTIE. And if you get a survey, make sure you say you heard about Cozy Earth on Bestie Approved. When you use your code, you support the pod. Thanks.
Okay, besties, I found your new favorite shirt. Hypernatural makes incredibly comfortable polos and tees that are made better by nature, and they're made with jadestone fibers to help keep you cool. They were called the best men's polo shirts of 2024 by Men's Journal, and you can grab yours now at hypernaturalstyle.com. Use code BESTIE at checkout for an exclusive 20% off of anything on the site. That's hypernaturalstyle.com, code BESTIE. Cool. Are you ready for reality roundup?
Yes.
Okay, let's do it.
Yes. Dear listener, I have 2 pages of notes.
I'm so happy.
I didn't even need these notes, but it's something that brings me a lot of joy to take notes and to make sure that I'm writing down not just what happens, but my reactions.
I do.
Oh, I know
exactly
you do.
The same thing.
Oh, I know you do. For sure.
So This is season 1, episode 10 of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City in Hot Water. It's probably one of the more iconic ones because when no one knew what the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City was, you get this this image of Jen Shaw in the bathtub splashing and screaming.
Yes.
This is really one of the ones that put it on the map because I think that's the first memory I have of seeing Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
That's amazing.
But we start out at Jen's house. Jen's acting like the victim for the way she acted at Sharif's birthday. And we find out Sharif isn't talking to Jen at the moment. So she gets up and she's like, this is the scene where because I haven't watched this in a couple of weeks since I took these notes. This is where she's getting up and making the bed and the whole thing, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. On one hand, I can understand how Jen's feeling right now because everyone has been in that place of, I cannot believe the way I acted. I'm so embarrassed. I'm such a nightmare. God, I hate myself. That's not what Jen's feeling right now, though. Jen is fully saying this is someone else's fault. It's Whitney's fault that Sharif isn't speaking to me.
Yes.
But go.
It's something that I simply can't subscribe to. And I think that Heather did say it best, which kind of counteracts what you just said. But Heather said it best where she's like, yes, Jen is in the wrong right now, but you have to give her a little bit of empathy. Her marriage is in turmoil, all these things. And should she feel absolutely embarrassed for the way that she acted at that party? 100%. Do I, as the audience member, feel really bad that Sharif isn't talking to her? Yes, I do feel bad. But is it for no reason that Sharif is talking to her? Absolutely not. I fully agree with Sharif needed time to process and to figure out how he's feeling and to not be in her vicinity so soon so that he doesn't blow up on her.
Yes. So I can get behind that. This is where I struggle with Jen a little bit because it's I get where you're coming from. I get that the situation with you and Sharif right now is really, really bad. Right. It's hard that Whitney brought that to you because here's the thing. I can say two wrongs don't make a right. I don't think Whitney should have brought that to Jen at Sharif's birthday party. And if I'm being 100% honest, I can blame the January 6th woman. I can still blame that January 6th woman because
there you go.
because she's the one who suggested all of it. But for Jen to be that reactive, I'm at some point you have to say, I don't care what the situation is. I'm going to remove myself from it, especially in situations like this where it is the stakes are that high. That's just all there is to it.
I literally want to take what you've said and I want to read one of my notes that I wrote down today.
Please.
I think that if Jen wanted this party to work out and be all about Coach Shaw, she would have pulled a Meredith and disengaged. Because Meredith is always I'm disengaged.
I think
she should have done that.
I agree. And I think that's what Meredith on some level was trying to do because Meredith, even this early on, I think was I can see what's coming from a mile away. I'm backing away slowly and I'm not doing this. Yeah,
it's a really difficult situation because it's say the thing that I had you say earlier about actions and reactions.
You can't control other people's actions. You can only control your reactions.
Yes. And I think that if the party and if the concept behind the party was important enough and heavy enough for Jen Shaw, that she would have taken what Whitney had said and been okay, so I see that this is happening and I'm really getting annoyed about it. I have to walk away and I have to truly make this about him. And I need to disengage from this conversation. I'd be let's talk about this later. I want to focus on my husband. And she did not do that. And she doesn't have very good reactions to things. No. And that's a big fat problem of hers.
Yes.
And it continues to be a problem throughout the episode.
Well, throughout the entire show.
Throughout all of time for the rest of her life and then some.
Yeah. But then we get Whitney going to Beauty Lab and they're unpacking the disaster that was Sharif's party. And then Whitney says she has good intentions and she was just trying to be a good friend to Jen, which I do buy this from Whitney. What I will say about Whitney is that I wholeheartedly believe what you see is what you get. And sometimes it's messy. Sometimes it's not the right time. Sometimes it is rough around the edges. But I do believe, A, that it always comes from a place of like having good intentions, and B, it is always coming from a very genuine place.
I completely agree.
And the part that I didn't love is that she found a way to blame this on the other women jumping in.
And she did that a couple of times, including, and I had written something down too, where I'm like, honey, you think that it went downhill when all the girls jumped in. It went downhill because you couldn't spit it out and say coherently. She was wasted. And I'm like, it is your fault that you couldn't get the thoughts out. Yeah. Not because the girls were jumping in and adding their own things, because you wouldn't spit it out because you were drunk.
Yes, girl.
You were drunk as a skunk and you couldn't dish it out.
But like, also just say that. Just say like, hey, I could not piece a string of thought together because I was wasted. Just say that, and like I'll buy that a little bit more than like it's
absolutely
it's Meredith and it's Lisa's fault, because like,
and Heather. Whitney was blaming Heather too.
I didn't like that because like Heather was trying to be the catalyst to like make the conversation happen. Heather, by the way, was also wasted. Like this wasn't any of their best episodes. I'm just going to be super real, because like none of them came off like being the good guy in any scenario. Yeah. But Lord have mercy.
It was unbearable. Yeah.
Heather says that she feels like Jen wants to be associated with Lisa and Meredith because like they're like, she considers them to be like better people.
Right.
This is like, I think a result of the show trying to find its footing, where in the beginning, I think the show was built around either Jen or Lisa or Jen and Lisa. And I feel like, because you can see like people gravitating towards those two more than anyone else. And like part of it probably is like the personality and like the like larger than life thing of it. But like I have to assume that like the show is being built around them, because like to keep like coming back to the chaos that is like Jen Shaw after Cherie's birthday party, after Meredith's birthday party, after the luncheon, after all of this, like it kind of says like, oh, they felt like they had to keep coming back. Mm-hmm. Like that's just how I feel about it.
I get that. And it made me really sad that Heather, and maybe I'm jumping forward a little bit, but this whole concept of Heather being very open, like in the confessional specifically, about if I'm not the go along girl, somebody's going to drop me like that. And that makes me so sad. Mm-hmm. Because obviously it is such PTSD from her previous relationship. And
from the Mormon church.
Of course. Yep. And I just feel like a lot of sympathy for Heather, where she wants everybody to be happy. And I'm this kind of person too, where I want everybody to be happy. I want everybody to get along. And
you want a nice bow on everything. You want everything to be okay.
And I also want everybody to like me too. As much as that's like kind of conceited to admit or something, I like being liked, and I like being wanted. And I hate the idea that Heather has such a huge example of how that's not true for her, because that's how it is perceived. Like her husband left her when she set one boundary. And I think it is really sad that she's like, I feel like Jen would drop me at any second if it meant that she could be best friends with Lisa and Meredith. Yeah. I just think it's sad.
I think it's sad too, but I think the difference between someone like you and someone like Heather Gay, and I think Heather has gotten a lot better about this as time has gone on, is like she's distanced herself from the church, from like the fallout of her marriage, from honestly from Jen Shaw too. But this didn't used to be this way. Heather would be the like get along girl at the detriment of herself. You don't like let it destroy your life, your relationship, and the things around you, where I think at some point Heather did, because she felt like she had to. And I hate that for her, because like absolutely, she is one of these people that you look at and she has so much to offer. And I'm like, if you could just see that, like you would have, and she does. Like that's the thing, is like once she like learned how to kind of like live in her light, she's got the world eating out of the palm of her hand.
Absolutely. And I had even noted it in my notes that she has made so much progress between say last episode to the end of the season, where she's like, you know what, if you're going to be mean to me, if you're not going to accept all that I have to offer and you want to discredit it or discount it or diminish it in any way, screw you. I don't need you in my life anymore. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's really big of her. And yes. I would also be very willing and interested to like read her books. And I think I even saw that she has something on some sort of TV subscription too called Bad Mormon or something.
So she's got Bad Mormon and Good Time Girl were the 2 books she wrote. They're both very, very good. I've read both of them. Bad Mormon's probably my favorite of the 2. And then she's got, did you ever watch the Scientology show like that Leah Remini hosted?
For sure I did.
So Heather did I think it's called Bad Mormon also, but it's kind of the same concept where it's unpacking like leaving the church and like what that's done to people. It's a 3-part series. It's on Peacock. I pay for it for
That's
us.
That's what it was. That's what I saw. Yeah. Okay. So yes, I really want to watch that.
It's very good. It is, I think, especially for people like us that like grew up in, not the Mormon church, but like the Nazarene church does have a lot of parallels there. I think it'll be very triggering.
Yikes.
But amazing. I think it's a good show.
Well, yeah, I agree that Heather has got so much going for her, and I'm really proud of the progress that I've seen only watching season 1. So I can only imagine the kind of progress she's made over the years.
Oh yeah.
So that's great. That's my Heather tangent.
We go over to Whitney FaceTiming Mary to make sure that she understood exactly what Mary said. Mm-hmm. And this all kind of revolves around Mary told Whitney that Lisa and Meredith both separately said they are afraid of Jen. I don't buy that Meredith said I'm afraid of Jen at all. I buy that Lisa said, I'm afraid of, but like, I can't handle the blow-ups and the theatrics of all. I'll buy that Lisa Barlow said that. I don't believe she said, I'm afraid of Jen. And I think if Meredith said any semblance of anything, it's something similar to what I think Lisa said of like, I can't handle this. Cause like they're 2 people that cannot engage in this idea of like, I need you to calm down. Like you have to like stop.
Right. At this point in the episode, I also had to pause and I had to think to myself, okay, so who is lying or where was the truth shifted? Because now that Whitney has clarified with Mary what Mary had said, I don't think that Whitney is lying. No. Whitney was told something.
Yes.
So that's either Mary lying, Lisa lying, or Meredith lying, or some combination of the 3. I still believe that. I don't think Mary would say something that's untrue. I think that she's too old and too grown to have the desire to say something that isn't true. And she's been saying it up, down, left, and sideways throughout the season, that she's going to say it how it is.
So what I will buy is that Mary heard Lisa and Meredith say whatever they said, and she heard what she wanted to hear. Yeah. She heard, because like I know that Mary does not like Jen. Right. Like that has been well established.
Right.
I think she heard, I can't handle this blow up thing. She took that and ran with it and said, oh, you're afraid of her. Like you're afraid of the blow-ups. You're afraid of this. And like, I'll buy that she believed that too. And then she relayed that information to Whitney. And the recurring theme with Whitney is she's the one that you hand the ball to and Whitney runs with the ball. Mm-hmm. So I think Mary probably knew what she was doing when she let Whitney know that information.
Yeah.
Because I believe Whitney believed that to be the truth. And I believe Mary said I believe that's what you meant. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
And that makes sense because I also thought to myself, I don't think that Meredith and Lisa have any reason to lie about their feelings with Jen, because kind of in parallel to what Heather was saying, I do perceive Meredith and Lisa to be very special, very like highly acclaimed, very classy, very chic, very, very high up in this like hierarchy of Real Housewives. And I would imagine that they don't have any reason to lie. They don't have any reason to even be afraid, quote unquote, of Jen. I'm not saying that they're better than Jen, and I'm not saying they're better than Mary or Whitney or anything like that, but they're very, very confident women. They're very comfortable in their thoughts and their feelings. And they also think very highly of themselves, which is great.
Right.
That's a compliment. So this whole time I'm like grappling with where did the truth turn into a lie?
Right.
And now that you were saying all of this, it does sound like it's gotta be Mary.
Yes. Mary girl.
Mary.
Meredith and Seth go to dinner with Lisa and John, and we get the like Meredith and Seth sharing that they're starting a new beginning, and I think like that's really beautiful that they were like able to be honest about this, because I think number one, having your marriage fall apart be rocky is a scary place to be. Having it happen on a brand new reality show in front of the world is a much scarier place to be. And I think rebuilding it has to be a very vulnerable place to be. And I'm very impressed that they were like kind of able to get to this place. But then we get into how Jen had been talking about Seth and Meredith's marriage, and this is one of those things where I'm like, okay, I will buy that you didn't want your marriage talked about, but like at some point you're putting yourself on reality TV, you're putting this all out there. Like, I think it's going to be talked about, but like, I do agree with Meredith. I don't like the way Jen went about it, but at some point I think that if you're in for a penny, you're in for a pound with this reality TV game.
That is true. And maybe it's just got to be one of those things about like, it's a reality TV show. Let's make somebody the bad guy for this scene or this episode or whatever. But I do understand that. How do I want to say this? I like what you said about it just being incredibly vulnerable, because divorce as a concept is extremely vulnerable. And at times people can feel embarrassed about it, ashamed about it. And it would be at a different level also incredibly vulnerable to consider divorce, like going through a separation and seeing if divorce is the right thing. And then turning around and being like, no, we can actually fix this, because people are always going to have perceptions of your relationships. And whether you, in Meredith's case, like she's sharing a lot, not just with the world, but also to her close friends. And if we're looking at this from an audience perspective and we're not considering the fact that it is a reality TV show, 100% Jen Shaw did the wrong thing
100%.
by being like, you'll just have to ask Meredith, but this is what I'm hearing, and blah, 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 but you'll just have to ask her. But that is a really interesting perspective that you've opened up. That's like, can you be so mad when you're sharing it on national television on a highly acclaimed reality show?
And to be fair to Meredith, because I'll give her this one, season 1 of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, they had no idea where they were going to be. Like, I'll buy that. Like, this was all very, very new for them. So I can give Meredith a pass for being upset about it, for feeling some type of way about it, because this was all still it was very new territory to them. I'll give her that.
And it's also, when we see all of these friend dynamics, we saw from the very beginning of this season that Meredith and Jen were like top-notch best friends, like having sleepovers, doing all these things,
throwing $80,000 birthday parties,
on Lisa Barlow's birthday.
By the way,
I had no clue about that.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. But they were best friends, and so like, why are you saying things like that to other people about your best friend? Like, have a little bit of decorum.
Right.
Have a little bit of respect for your friend.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Whitney, Heather, and Jen go to a spa in the middle of nowhere, and then we get a flashback of Whitney calling Jen to apologize. I didn't like the way this conversation went down, because I think if someone apologizes to you, you either have to accept it or not. Like, and the way that Jen was so like, yeah,
Fine.
Like that.
Fine, I'll go.
Yeah, I'll go to the spa. Like it felt icky to me.
Well, when I rewatched the episode this morning, I had honestly felt like I bet there could have been more to that conversation. Like I bet there was, and it was just cut. I'm hoping that that's what happened, because I felt the same way, where Whitney, every time she apologizes, I feel like it's genuine.
Yes.
And so when Jen Shaw was just like, fine, I'll go, I was like, that was a little bit ew.
Yeah.
But then I was like, well, maybe that was like a 10-second clip of a flashback, where that phone call could have been like upwards of 20 minutes long. Who knows? That's what I'm hoping.
Maybe.
But of course, we already knew that going into this, Jen still didn't like Whitney.
Right.
And still had a problem with her, and didn't had high expectations for this spa thing. Like, if you're going to apologize to me, it better be a 24 karat face mask. It better be this, that, and the third. Which I also thought was really funny, that Jen was so disgusted by this place. I wrote down in my notes, like, I would do anything. I'd pay any money to be at this cool little hippy dippy spa.
Oh, yeah.
And be sitting in these rocks that are bathtubs.
Yeah.
With hot water, in nature, in the fresh air, and all of the canyons. I assume, I don't know. I would do anything. So me and Jen are just not alike.
I wrote down the same thing, where I would love to be in one of these hot spring hot tub things. But like, so you get the visual of like them driving out there, and and I think Whitney says it at one point. I brought us out to the middle of nowhere, so Jen could not storm off.
Yeah.
And that really just illustrates how big of a problem that has been. Because like, I think I said it to Emma, where like, we've seen it 4 or 5 times, but like, I wonder how much, because like, I think Heather Dubrow said like, it's for every 8 hours that we film, 1 hour makes it to air. So like, you have to assume that there are like hours on the cutting room floor of Jen just storming off, or like having a meltdown that we haven't seen. So like they're all conditioned to it in a way that like we think it's entertaining, but like they're exhausted by it. So
yeah,
Whitney brings you out in the middle of nowhere. You can't storm off. And I don't love that she did this again, but Whitney starts to apologize, and she's blaming the other women for the derailing of the conversation.
I know. It kind of makes you grate your teeth a little bit. It's like everybody in the room, everybody in these tubs can take a little bit of accountability.
Right.
For sure.
But what Jen, I did appreciate, she explains, like she does a very good job of explaining the party was such a big deal to her.
Yes.
And I get her being upset, just like not to the extent of where she took it. And then she has a complete inability to take accountability past that. Yes. And then she has the meltdown and says that Whitney pushed her to throw the glass.
I know. This is a problem that I have with Jen 24/7, is that she will say what is wrong. She'll say how she's feeling. And then instead of looking inward and being like, okay, did I do anything to make myself feel this way? Or is there anything that's happened in my past to make me feel this way? Or what were my actions? Did I do anything to alleviate the situation? And instead of doing all those things, she deflects and she says, it is your fault that I threw the glass. Mm-hmm. Baby, it is not Whitney's fault that you threw the glass.
Right.
You are in control of your reactions, your
Yes.
actions and your reactions. And Jen just she can't comprehend that. She constantly wants to blame other people for the bad things that she does. Mm-hmm. She knows that she does the bad things. She's embarrassed about it. I believe that she's fully
100%.
embarrassed.
Yes, I agree.
But she will continue to blame everybody else for the way that she acts. You have to fix how you react. Mm-hmm. You have to, because you just look emotionally immature. You look ridiculous. Mm-hmm. And honestly, it comes to a point where I honestly feel a little bad for Jen, because it's like, you're already at your grown age. How are you going to fix this now?
Right.
How are you going to work on this now?
Probably prison.
I hope. So it is sad. Like, and I liked that at some point Whitney fully took accountability, but it came to a point where Heather was like, you just need to give her what she wants to hear in order to alleviate this.
Yes.
It's like talking to a child.
Well, and that's exactly what I wrote in my notes too. But before that, you get the famous scene of Jen splashing the cameras. And it's like, it's funny that this happens immediately after she's saying you pushed me to throw the glass. She splashes the cameras. The producer says, Jen, why'd you do that? And she goes, that's what happens when you film me in a bathtub. It's always someone else's fault. Like it's
the
always
exact same thing about the glass.
And then
how crazy.
And that's the thing is like, oh, you just can't do it. Like you simply can't do it. And then like Heather does something where I immediately recognized what Heather was doing because our Papa has done this. I've seen Huck do this. I've seen Tina do this. I've seen a lot of people in our family do this where it's like, it's my fault. It's my fault. Like just make it go away. And I feel bad that Heather did that because she takes all the blame for everything. She says it was bad timing on her part, and that was the problem. And then Heather ends up telling Jen that she's terrified of losing the friendship with her. And that broke my heart.
It did.
Yeah.
I agree. What did I write down? It's like the things that we said before, that Heather is terrified of setting boundaries with people, and so she's willing to just let people walk all over her or treat her however they want to treat her, and it's just so sad. And again, I'm really glad that she's made the progress that I've currently seen, having only just watched season 1, but from episode 9 to episode whatever before the reunion, I've seen that progress. But this is like the beginning of that progress where she just wants this to be fixed so bad. And that's also a really sad place. And that's where me as a person, I sit in that place a lot where if something is wrong, I just want everybody to be happy. I just want everybody to get along. I just want everything to be fixed. And I'll do anything to make it fixed, even at like my own detriment. And so in a lot of ways, Heather's become kind of one of my favorites because not only do I see a little bit of myself in her, but I also see how strong and how capable she becomes throughout this season, not just with like her beautiful business that turns out so well by the end of the season and all these things, but that she is able to be like, I'm allowed to make boundaries.
Yeah.
And if you have a problem with it, I'd rather you step out.
Yeah.
I'd rather you go. And she just holds a lot more value in herself later on. And I'm excited for her to get there, but right now it's just sad.
It is.
It's sad.
Lisa hosts a dinner in a yurt. I love that. I can see her being like, this is such a good idea, John. This is going to be really good for Vita Tequila.
John, I can't wait for you to hear about this idea that I have.
Look at this idea. I don't want to hear your opinion, but I have a really good idea.
John, I love it. Yeah.
But she hosts dinner in a yurt. Meredith is the only other housewife there, but we meet Angie Harrington. And Angie Harrington is someone who's always been really, really fascinating to me because she is the ex-wife of Brett from Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Yes. And she was... I know beyond the shadow of a doubt, she was slated to be on The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, if not in the first season, then definitely in the second season. But that really just didn't ever go anywhere. Or like she stayed a friend of, because I know she got confessionals at some point, but like I wonder if part of the problem was like she was trying too hard, or like the other girls hated her. Like, because I know there was a lot there with like her and Jen where Angie Harrington's husband like created like a burner Instagram that like did nothing but drag Jen Shaw. So like I don't know if that's why she never got on the show, but like Angie Harrington's always been very interesting to me, and like she's got money. Like like from what I understand, she gave Jen Shaw like $1 million like during the trial to I'm probably gonna cut that because I don't know if that's libel or not. But like there's like Angie Harrington has like real money. Like I know they donated $1 million to a foundation that was like supporting trans people. Like they have a lot of money and they're like allies of the community. So I don't know why they never made it on the show.
Yeah. That's interesting. I didn't know a single thing about that woman. So I'm glad to have heard some of this information, and that's fascinating.
Yeah.
Like she was married to Brett.
Yeah. I wonder if she was ever involved in Fruity Pebbles.
I wonder if she knows about Fruity Pebbles. I wonder if she eats Fruity Pebbles.
I have a feeling that she knows a lot about Fruity Pebbles.
I have a feeling she knows about Fruity Pebbles, and that's why she left her husband.
Maybe.
I hope.
I don't know.
I don't know.
We go over to Jen's house, and Coach Shaw comes in and talks to Jen for the first time in a week.
Yeah.
So I would like to have one of these talks with Coach Shaw, because I think coming out of this conversation, I think that I would feel better.
He is so gentle.
He is.
And when I think that the time away has given him a lot of patience, and he was able to find his words very well. And what I also notice is he is such a words of affirmation person.
Yes.
And he was so gentle and so kind about it.
Yes.
And I would also love to have any conversation with him. I think would be very validating and very endearing.
Yes. But he explains to Jen that she cannot control her emotions and reactions when she drinks. And I would venture a guess that the alcohol is not the issue. I think it makes it worse, but I don't think alcohol is the root of the problem.
Right. I did wonder when he said that, like, of course this is my first time in Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, first time Real Housewives anything. So I don't know anything about Jen Shaw going into any of this, but I did wonder, like, has drinking been an issue with her in previous years? Has it always been a thing that she does? I have no clue.
So I think Coach Shaw is more critical of the drinking because he is Muslim, and he is like, Jen Shaw is
sober.
Muslim too, and they're sober, or he's sober, and like, I think he follows like the teachings of the Quran that say, like, you don't drink, you don't do X, Y, and Z, and that's fine. I think that he's viewing it through the lens of, I know I don't drink, I know I don't have these problems. Jen drinks, she does have these problems, and I think that it's a correlation it's a causation. No, it's a correlation that's not a causation. So I think that that's why he's coming at it from this angle. But I also think that he does not want to be like, you have an emotional problem.
Well, I wonder if he's scared to say that, or if he genuinely is gone for so long, so consecutively, that he genuinely doesn't understand what the issue is. And like, it's harder to not know something because, I mean, humans are powered by, like, I want to know this, that, and the third. There's a problem. I want a solution. We have to know everything.
Yes.
And so if there's something that Sharif genuinely doesn't understand, he probably wants to be like, well, I do know this is a problem, so that's got to be it.
I'll buy that.
And that is frustrating, especially when this is the first time that Jen is actually opening up about these issues.
Right.
She said, I've never told you how much I resent you, basically.
How mad she is. Like,
how
that's
mad she
the
is.
one thing that stood out to me is she was like, I'm so mad at you. And I felt her when she was saying that.
I believe all of this. And I genuinely do think that all of her feelings are very validated. It's just nobody can validate it when she comes off the way that she does, when she comes off so aggressively. And I do agree with, like, Whitney, where when Jen is around Sharif, she's so much more gentle. And so instead of screaming and yelling and throwing glasses like what she would at Whitney, Jen just kind of resorts to this very emotional response as she's talking. She's crying, and she's not yelling at Sharif, but she is making it apparent, like, I'm so angry with you. And that's great. Because, I mean, imagine how miserable the relationship would be if she's screaming and yelling in his face and throwing glasses in his vicinity. And I think that that is a relationship where if they're comfortable enough to be open and vulnerable with each other, they can make all of this work.
100%.
And Sharif can support her in making her a little more emotionally mature. But he can't do that if Jen's not going to actually say what the problem is.
Right.
And this is the first time she's doing it.
Right. And like, it's the first time she's saying what, I mean, and the problem is she gives like the full, like, I'm so mad at you because you weren't there when I had to make the decision to pull my dad off of life support. And and you find out at some point later that like towards the end there, Sharif was the only person that Jen's dad recognized. And I think that made it so much harder because like, I think Sharif even says it at the reunion. Like he says, I think Jen probably on some level feels like if I were there, he would have pulled through a little bit. And like, I'll buy that she like subconsciously might like feel that. I don't know. But she does say, I'm so mad at you and I don't know where to put this, like long and short of it. And then Sharif hears her. And I think that's the first time Jen really feels heard about that situation.
He was very receptive to it. He apologized, and his apology felt so sincere and real. And I think that's really beautiful. Yeah. He was like, I need you to know I love you, baby. I love you. And I'm so sorry that you're hurt. And he's like, I'll be better. And I don't know if he has been. I haven't watched. I
don't think Sharif had anything to fix like outside of like being present. I really don't. So like if he's any more present, then he's fixed it.
Hopefully.
But like the takeaway from that for me was the conversation ends beautifully. Like it feels like everything's going to be okay in the Shaw Chalet, right?
Yeah.
She doesn't do this with the other women though.
I
know. Like at some point, like you can say to Whitney, I am hurt that like you took this beautiful moment that I was trying to have for Sharif and it felt ruined and I'm hurt and I'm mad at you. She gets the essence of that, but she doesn't ever get there with Whitney. With Heather, I don't know what the issue is. With Meredith and Lisa, she could say, I'm hurt and I'm mad that you are afraid of me. Like if that's how you perceive me, I'm hurt and I'm mad. And she doesn't ever get there. It's just throwing the glasses. It's screaming. It's storming off. It's don't talk about Mary. And it's always like someone else's problem. I wish she could take what she did with Sharif and translate it to the other girls. Because I think here's the thing. I think this group of women, it's the most beautiful dynamic. But like when you have someone as volatile as Jen Shaw, like where you're going to have drama no matter what. I don't think you can walk into any situation with Jen Shaw and be like, oh, this is going to be a good day because you know what's coming next.
Yeah. And you know what the potential is. You know what the possibility is. And I think that I agree. I severely wish that she could communicate with the other women the same way that she communicates with Sharif. But I think that it's got something to do with Sharif hangs the moon in her sky. And so it kind of leads me to believe that not specifically at that level, but at a high level, she does not respect some of these women.
No.
And she does not like some of these women. No. And she's not willing to even participate in a meaningful and effective conversation with these women. And at some level, she can do that with Meredith and Lisa, but at no level can she do that with Whitney. And at barely any level can she do that with Heather. And that makes me sad because obviously, like when they were in the bathtubs, Whitney and Heather were like, we genuinely had the best intentions, which I also believe. You said that you fully believe that, and I do as well. And Whitney was like, I just want you so badly to know that I had every intention of just coming to you as a girlfriend and being truthful to you. And I can see that Whitney and Heather want to be good friends to Jen. And I think that Jen just paints them in a negative light every time.
Yes.
And just can't show up for being their good friends, even if they're trying to be her good friends. And that sucks.
I agree. But yeah, there's that.
This was an incredible episode.
This episode's going to have a lot of editing.
How long is it right now?
It's an hour and 31 minutes, but like, all things being equal, it's probably an hour and 10.
Yeah.
An hour, maybe.
Yeah.
But dear listener, thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Josh, will you be back? No, you're going to Hawaii next week. Will you be back the week after?
It'll be after Christmas.
Oh, gorgeous. So then we have at least one episode between now and Christmas.
I believe so.
And then Thank you for being here. Thank you for loving us. Follow us, rate us, review us everywhere. 5-star reviews, and I'll shout you out wherever. From Indy to Spain to the Philippines to apparently at least one listener in Pakistan. We love you. Thank you for being here, and we can't wait to see you next week.
Thanks so much.